Good morning, everyone. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. It's time to get out of bed. So, when you wake up in the morning, the notebook opens up just to remind you what you're supposed to be doing. So we have to go back to the villages with Shenhua and ask them about the thugs. As you can see, we were sleeping in what seems to be Shenhua's father's room. Again, the layout is a bit different from how it was in Shenmue 2, so they've made some retcon changes, I guess. Like this picture here is a bit different. This is just a picture of Bailu village when it was actually something a bit different in the last game. Now, over here by the kitchen cupboard, there's something interesting.
Do they grow them in the village? Guess I'll take it.
Some delicious fruit. And you can take it. So yes.
Look, guess I'll take it.
Each day, a banana and an apple will be waiting here for you to take. And you can pick it up in the morning as a little morning snack.
Good morning, Ryo.
Good morning.
Did you get enough rest?
Yeah. Hey,
Yes? We should get ready to go.
got it.
We can talk more on the way.
So yes, in this game, food actually serves a purpose, which we will be demonstrating later on. Yes, over here, this is a
I
bit...
shouldn't go in without permission.
Yeah, this is Shenhua's room, which again is different from it was in the last game. But yeah, that's Shenhua's room, and you can't go in there because Ryo Hazuki refuses to go in there without Shenhua's permission, because he's a gentleman and not some creepy weirdo who'll just go in there and look at all the drawers without, you know, asking. Having said that though, if you no-clip into that room, you can examine the drawers, and there are a couple of voice lines Ryo Hazuki says for the things he looks at. Which I guess means that at some point during development, you could have gone into those rooms.
Let's go.
Yeah.
But I guess they changed it because they thought it was a bit weird. Before you say anything though, there's nothing exciting in any of Shenhua's drawers. There's no underwear or anything like that. Which I guess makes sense because Shenhua's clearly some weird new age hippie girl. And, you know, she's probably wearing nothing under those clothes. I bet she doesn't even bathe herself.
Your house is pretty far from the village, huh, Shenhua?
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Is there a reason for that?
The quarry could be one.
Sorry?
No, I said quarry.
The quarry. It's a special one that even I'm not allowed to enter.
Ah. So, your house is there to protect it?
Yes, I believe so. Father didn't tell me anything about it, though.
I see. Do you know what the dragon and phoenix in the quarry were for?
No, I don't.
But your father carved them, right?
Yes, he must have. He wasn't alone, though.
What do you mean by that?
They must have taken generations to complete.
So, you think your grandfather worked on them too?
Yes, possibly even further back than that.
Have you heard any stories about them?
Not a single one. My father always said he'd tell me when I got older.
Then, how do you know it has so much history?
Well, everyone in the village has history.
The villagers?
Yes. Generations of stonemasons, hunters, and farmers have all lived here. The same goes for the cattle wranglers. They've been here for ages.
Oh yeah?
That's just how things work here.
Something that kind of stood out for me when for those little scenes is that it's a little bit reminiscent of the ending of Shenmue 2, where you're walking along the mountain path with Shenhua. Except in those games, it was a little bit more, I guess, organic. You could sort of naturally walk behind her and talk to her and initiate conversations, and you would still be walking while you did so. But in this game, the walking and talking scenes are just kind of like scripted cutscenes. You can't really walk or do anything fast. Like here, I'm walking with Shenhua, but you can't speak to her at all. You can walk ahead of her and walk around a little bit, but there's not really any point. She'll just keep walking, and we'll just stop once you get to a specific place. Yeah, it's just a bit weird.
Is this a dojo?
That's right. This is Martial Hall. It's been here for ages.
Martial Hall.
Long ago, many great martial artists traveled here, from all over the world. But no one comes here nowadays.
Is that so?
Ryo, you should come here to practice when you have time.
Is that okay?
Of course. Our doors are open to everyone that comes here looking to master the martial arts.
Are you a new trainee?
Sorry?
You're Japanese.
I am.
The people of Bailu village have trained here for centuries. It has history.
Did you say centuries?
You would do well to train here if you have lost sight of the path. You can polish your techniques.
So, you'll let me train here?
Not only that, I'll let you prove yourself by fighting the monks here.
You're on.
A fight? Very well. Your first opponent shall be Red Tiger. He is our least skilled monk, but do not underestimate him.
Alright, so now the game's going to introduce combat to us. Here's the tutorial. Try pressing the buttons. Just hit the buttons. What's wrong with you? Hit the buttons. Try pressing the right trigger. Idiot. That's just how the game introduces it to you. Just try it out. And I guess that's the best way of learning in some ways. I can't really fault it for that. But yeah, this is the fight system. Very different from the Virtua Fighter style fighting game engine from the first two games. Now it is this sort of over-the-shoulder lock-on style combat. Yeah, so all the face buttons are different attacks. You press different combinations of buttons to do different moves. You can move around, you can strafe. If you tap the direction, you can do a little dodge. If you press the right trigger, you'll do a saved special move, and if you press the left trigger, if you hold it, you do a block. I hate to keep saying I'll explain more of this later, because I've said that quite a few times already in this Let's Play, but rest assured we'll be seeing a lot more combat, and there'll be plenty of opportunities to see more of it. But for now, all you need to know is that's the fight system.
What say you? Will you join us?
Yes, absolutely.
Very well. What is your name?
Ryo Hazuki.
I shall have a name tag prepared for you. You will start from the lowest rank.
Rank?
Yes. You must fight and defeat someone above your rank in order to move up. You must train day in and day out to improve your kung fu.
So yeah, that's Martial Hall. That's the training place you can go to. So if you ever want to practice your kung fu and do any of that stuff, you can come here. And it's just a nice place to spend some time, which is nice. But we'll come back to that later. For now, we'll just keep following Shenhua towards Bailu village. And we'll just take a moment to admire the scenery because, you know, the environment looks pretty nice. The graphics in this game are quite good, I think.
Whose shop is that? Over the bridge.
Oh, it belongs to Uncle Tao.
Uncle Tao, huh?
Yes, people can get anything they need from his shop.
I see.
Ryo, did you pack anything to eat?
Why do you ask?
Well, you can't run on an empty stomach.
That's a very good point.
Be sure to keep a little something on hand in case you get hungry later. A lot of places in the village sell food too.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
Food actually ends up being quite important in this game. You end up having to need to eat quite a lot, especially if you do lots of activities, because that eats into your stamina. And yeah, you don't want to be caught without food and low on stamina.
Ryo, this herb.
This is...
It's licorice. You can make Chinese medicine with it.
Is that what the kids call it these days?
So, you can turn this into medicine, huh?
Not just this. There are lots of herbs growing in Bailu.
Where do they grow?
They're all over the place, but you have to really look for them.
Oh, really?
There should be special maps at Uncle Tao's shop.
Someone actually made maps?
Yes, if you find enough to make some medicine. Uncle Tao will buy them from you.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind.
So, here's another game mechanic introduced. Picking herbs. Yes, you can now pick herbs from the ground in order to sell them for money. There we go. Keep an eye out for those. They're all over the place, like she says. Yeah, it's actually a pretty nice way of making money because it ties into the whole Shenmue thing of looking at things, which is a central game mechanic in Shenmue, even in the old games. So it's kind of nice that they've implemented this herb collecting aspect because it kind of rewards players for going around and exploring, which I think is good. That's a natural fit for this series, I think.
I would like to know, what's the tall tower just past the village square?
Yes, that's the bell tower.
What is it for?
We ring the bell if there's a fire in the mountains, or if something dangerous is encroaching on the village.
Is that why it's so tall?
Precisely. It's also a useful landmark, because you can see it from anywhere in the village.
That's handy. So you can find your way back to the square if you head for the bell tower?
That's right.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Sorry, it was just something about the way she said, "Ah, yes," just seemed really odd and sticked out to me. I don't know, it's just funny. And it just seemed especially weird, and even more weirder than usual, which I guess you can consider, like, I guess normal voice acting for Shenmue, but it's especially weird because most of the other voice actors for the NPCs are actually decent voice actors who voice acted in other things, so yeah, it's weird.
Excuse me.
Oh, hey kid. What do you want? Have you come to apprentice under me?
Oh, nothing.
You're a beginner, right? You have a name?
Ryo Hazuki.
Well, Ryo, it's your lucky day. Fear not, for I am the great Sudza Xiong. I can forge a formidable master out of the most hopeless of pupils. You stand before a Chuntai Cheer master.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
What? You don't think I've got what it takes?
That's not what I...
Then let me show you what I've got. Fight me, right now.
Oh, man. Look, I'm not opposed, but...
It's too late now, It was Ryo, right?
Alright, so now the game has introduced Sparring, which is different from a real fight. This is Sparring where there's no health meter involved. You and your opponent don't have a health bar, it's just an opportunity to practice the moves, practice the commands to do the moves, and just to try out being in an actual fight without, it's just practice, really. This is basically a sort of a combination of the sparring with Fukusan thing you could do in Shenmue 1 in the dojo, and it's also a replacement of the sort of training you did in Shenmue 1 where you go into like an empty car park or something and you do the "let's get sweaty" thing and just practice the moves over and over again against no one. This allows you to practice the moves against real opponents, and as you do the moves, your skill increases. Like in Shenmue 1, if you practice certain moves, your power and strength of those moves increases, but here it's a lot more, you get more feedback. You actually have like a little bar that goes up at the bottom that shows you how much you've leveled up, and the more you do the moves, the more powerful it becomes, which is good. But yeah, this is a lot more involved than it was in Shenmue 1, which is something I really like, actually. Shenmue 1 training was very, very boring, and I get the feeling they weren't really quite sure how to do the training, because in Shenmue 2 they removed training entirely. Your moves strength would still go up if you use them in fights, but there was no way to practice the moves outside of actual combat. There was no training mode, no sparring, no nothing. Here they've introduced training and sparring as a central game mechanic to increase Ryo Hazuki's actual fighting skill, which makes a lot more sense from a gameplay perspective, and also just as a story perspective. As the story of Shenmue, as the basic plot of Ryo Hazuki training to become a martial arts guy, Implementing training like this makes a lot more sense, and I quite like that.
Thanks for that.
Well, how's it feel? Pretty nice to train with a master like me, isn't it?
Sure.
Come by anytime. I'm always up for a fight.
So yes, that's Sparring introduced, and that was good practice. But we did come to the village for a reason, and that's to ask about Shenhua's dad. So let's ask the villagers.
I need help with something.
No, not right now. Anyway, I have to practice my forms.
Please, Zhangping. It's important.
Oh, hi, Shenhua. Hey, mister. Who are you?
This is Ryo. He's a friend of mine.
Did you see the thugs that came to the village?
Nuh-uh.
If you know anything, please tell us.
Oh, wait a minute. Mei Ling said that they came to her house when she was sleeping.
Mei Ling said that?
Okay, let me go ask her.
Mei Ling is Wang Wen's kid. They live nearby.
Okay then.
Oh, thanks.
So yes, whilst yesterday the villagers seem a little bit unfamiliar with Ryo Hazuki, it seems like hanging out with Shenhua means people open up to Ryo Hazuki a bit more, which is good. So we can continue our investigation and speak to this little girl over here.
Hey,
Hey, mister!
I need help with something.
Are you well, Ling?
Oh, hi, Shenhua. I see. So you two are friends.
Did you see any thugs come here?
The people who messed up your house.
Nuh-uh.
Okay then.
Well, so much for that. Okay, let's speak to this dude over here.
I need help with something.
I have nothing to say to a stranger.
Can I talk to you about something?
Shenhua, what's up?
This is Ryo. He's a friend of mine.
For real?
Did you see any thugs come here?
No, but I heard some other people talking about it. Seems like some people got their homes trashed.
Okay, thanks.
Actually, I'm more worried about Yuan than those thugs.
Thanks, Mingyang.
Oh, don't mention it. I'm just, you know.
Even though that most of these villagers aren't that helpful, it is fun talking to them. There's a lot of character behind the NPCs.
Excuse me.
Oh, well, what have we here? Looks like it's a young man this time. There's always something interesting coming in from the Lijiang River.
Huh?
First a tree, then a goat. I wonder what's going to show up next.
Hey,
Mr. Jiang, there's something we'd like to ask you.
If it isn't Shenhua.
have you seen the thugs that came to the village recently?
Thugs, eh? Well, now that you mention it, I did see a group of shifty-looking strangers. They barged in at night and gave me their evil eye.
What did they want?
Who knows? They quickly left without saying anything.
I see.
Thank you, Mr. Jiang.
Mr. Jiang looks so old, like really old and wrinkly. Like he looks like what the average Shenmue fan will look like by the time the series is finished. Anyway, let's speak to his wife.
Hey,
Who are you, young man? I can't help but notice you've been wandering around here lately.
Was it that obvious?
my name is Ryo Hazuki.
Ah, so you're Japanese. Sorry, dear. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I'm not too partial to strangers.
Well, hang on a minute. What are you
Wait,
saying here?
Mrs. Jiang,
Oh, Shenhua. I didn't know you were here.
this is Ryo. He's my friend.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Now, what can I do for you?
I've got a question. Have you seen the thugs that came to the village recently?
Oh, yes. Those hooligans came here, too.
What did they want?
They seem to be looking for something. They were turning the house inside out. In a mountain village like this, the only thing that has any value are the stones that Yuen carves.
Could the thugs have taken my father?
That's not the only possibility.
Oh, really?
Do you know where they went after that?
No, dear. Your guess is as good as mine. They vanished without a trace.
I see.
Well, I guess the thugs went around to lots of different places in the village. We still have a few more villagers to talk to. There's Mei Ling, who we mentioned earlier. She's the girl dressed in yellow, so... Yep, she's hanging over by this tree over here, so let's speak to her.
I need help with something.
Huh?
Mei Ling,
Oh, hi, Shenhua.
were you a good girl today?
Of course. Who's he, Shenhua?
This is Ryo. He's a friend of mine.
Did you see the thugs that came to the village?
Mei Ling, did some scary-looking guys come by?
I don't know who it was, but someone was here last night.
Can you tell me more?
I heard a man's voice yelling. He was really loud. I got scared, so I hid under the covers. Next morning, I asked my mom and dad about what happened, but they said a kid like me doesn't have to worry about it.
Okay.
Maybe if you two ask Mom, she'll tell you.
Thanks a lot, Mei Ling. Ryo, let's go talk to Wang Wen.
Okay.
Okay, there's our next objective. Find this girl's mum and ask her about stuff. Let's speak to this girl again as
I
if we
need
weren't
help
just
with
speaking to
something.
her.
Yeah?
I'm looking for Wang Wen.
We want to talk to your mother.
She's... Hey, where'd she go? She was just here a minute ago. She was talking to your Ray Feng.
Oh, I see. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Llewellyn. Oh, hang on! A herb! Let's take it. Remember, always keep a lookout for those. They're worth good money. Although it is licorice, and I hate licorice. I don't know why people like licorice so much. It sucks! Licorice sucks! If you like licorice, you're wrong.
Excuse me.
You're not from around here, are you?
Yue Feng, this is a friend of mine.
Is that right?
Hi there. Is Wang Wen around?
There's something I'd like to ask Wang Wen.
She's not around? I was just talking to her.
I see.
She said something about going shopping, so maybe she already left for Talget.
Got it.
Thanks.
Alright, so now we have to head on over to the Talget store. If you remember, we were speaking to Shenhua about the Talget store and Uncle Tao who runs the shop. We passed it earlier. It was the shop that's sort of on the way here, next to Joy Park. So we'll just run on over there and we'll speak.
I've got to eat something.
Oh, hang on. We're hungry. If you run while your health is in the yellow, your health will quickly deplete. So, this is where the food comes into play. Your health is also your stamina. If your health drops below 300, or basically the first 3 dots, it will be in the yellow, and your stamina will decrease quickly if you'll try running whilst your health is in the yellow. So if you can keep your health topped up above that, you'll be able to run as much as you want, more or less. Your health or stamina slowly depletes as the day goes by, and if you do certain activities like training and sparring and fighting, you use up more of your stamina. So the more stuff you do, the more food you have to buy, and that's something you have to keep into consideration.
Excuse me.
Huh? What is it?
Hello, Wen.
Shenhua!
This is my friend, Ryo.
Oh, really? Your friend?
I'm looking for some thugs. Have you seen any?
Wen, did the thugs show up here?
That they did. But my husband drove them off. He's really good to have around in times like these.
What did they want?
That's what I'd like to know. They kept hollering something about wanting to meet the stonemason. I was inside and didn't see anything. My husband told me about it after it was over.
I see.
Let's talk to Shiren, Wen's husband.
Good idea.
I'm not sure if you noticed it, but during the cutscenes here, there's this weird light source that's shining off Ryo Hazuki's jacket that looks a bit weird. It's coming from nowhere, and it's pointing directly at the characters' faces. The game uses this weird artificial light to illuminate characters' faces.
What is it, Ryo?
This is so that their faces appear more visible during cutscenes. It just looks a little weird sometimes because, yeah, if you notice there that it was sort of shining off Ryo Hazuki's jacket in a weird way that made it look like someone was shining a torch or something. But yeah, actually, this is something that happens in the old games as well. In Shenmue 1 and 2, whenever you speak to someone, there's this weird artificial light that illuminates the characters' faces so that their faces aren't just bathed in darkness if you're in a dark place. But it just looks a lot more weirder in this game because the light's a bit more, like, dynamic, I guess.
Hello, Leo.
Da Tong.
What's with the two of you?
Is Wang Shiren around?
I'd like to talk to Shiren.
He left to patrol Longweishan. It's up ahead. You'll see signs for it.
I see.
So, he's over at Langweishan, so let's head on over there. If you remember, Langweishan is the mountains you went through to get to Bailu village in Shenmue 2. At the end of Shenmue 2, when we first met Shenhua, we went through the Langweishan mountains. If you also remember, Langweishan means Wolf Mountain, so yeah, there's wolves over there. You never see them in the game. You do hear them though during the nighttime, which is a neat little touch. But yeah, he's over there. I guess if you really wanted to, you could go back that direction and head all the way back to the port, and then back on the boat, and all the way back to Hong Kong if you wanted to. But actually, no, the game won't let you. But yeah, there's a sign, Langweishan. There's a little picture of a wolf there as well. So, I guess he's down in this direction. And there he is right there, on patrol. And by patrol, we mean doing a very important task of petting the cow. Good patrolling you're doing. Keep up the good work, Shiren.
Excuse me.
What do you want? What are you two doing here?
There's something I want to ask. I'm looking for some thugs. Have you seen any?
Did you see two of them the other night?
Yeah, a big man with long hair, and a man with a shaved head and a spider tattoo.
Tell me more.
They barged in during the middle of the night when I was sleeping. They kept yelling this and that about a stonemason. I told them they had the wrong house and drove them off. Then I went right back to bed.
Is there anybody else?
Do you know where they went after that?
That I don't know, but I do know that there were other witnesses. A man I met at the bar was talking about it. He was a bookie with a scar on his face.
What kind of scar?
A big one. On his cheek.
We should talk to him, Ryo.
Yes. Let's go find him.
Okay, so there's our next objective. Find the man with... well, there's a man with a scar on his face. First, let's just take some time to admire these cows. Damn, these are pretty good cows. Unfortunately, you cannot pet them yourself. But, over here, a herb. Or, more specifically, a Poria Coco. Oh, I don't even know what that is, but I guess it's some kind of fungus. Here's some more herbs. And another herb. It's not too hard to find them, really. They sort of highlight them with the big yellow, sorry, not yellow, red circle. And your camera automatically locks onto them if you look at them in a certain way. So, yeah, if you want, you can just sort of scan the ground.
There's nothing for me to do this way.
Oh yeah, you don't want to go all the way back to Shenmue 2. But yeah, you can look on the ground and sort of scan the ground for herbs and stuff. And they usually, once you're looking for them, they appear quite obvious. You just have to kind of keep an eye out. So we'll just leave him with his important cow petting duty and head back to the village.
Ah, Ryo. Did you find Shiren?
Yes.
Boy, do I wish those thugs would show up. I'd love to make them suffer with my own two hands.
I see.
It's so good that Ryo Hazuki's signature response is still intact in this game. I see.